Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to go over the basic concept of fractions, its terminologies, and how they related to our calculator. Again, the calculator for this class that I recommended for everyone to use, which is the FX991MS. So let me show you the image of that calculator. Okay, so Casio FX991MS, and this calculator has a very unique feature that we can use in terms of fractions. Sometimes the concept of calculating like certain values of fraction, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division can be very tedious, but if we use a calculator, it's actually simplify a lot of the process. However, before we get to the calculator, we need to go over the basic terminology for fraction. These basic terminology will be using throughout the entire unit, and you can see right away that I show everyone the basic concept, but then on the next page, I show everyone how to work with a calculator as well. And I believe that most of the calculator that you chose to use, if you don't want to go with the Casio FX991MS, then you can see that most of the calculator will have the fraction key as well. Alright, so the terminology for fractions involving improper, proper fractions, and mixed number. So proper fractions. In a proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. As you see right here, you have 3/5. And I also want to emphasize that you can have a negative integer as well, and that negative is registered to the very front of these fractions. Okay, so if you think about absolute values of this fraction, so that means you think about 5/7 in this case, then 5 is still less than 7. Okay, so this fraction is also called a proper fraction. Improper fractions is when you have a numerator greater than the denominator. Why do they call improper? Because for this you can convert that into another thing called mixed number. Okay, so take a look at the example number 2. I have 11/5 as a negative fractions. Okay, I have 47/17. The numerator is greater than the denominators. So from the improper fraction, I can convert them into some sort of mixed number. So we will talk about the conversion process of this in a minute. But then mixed number has this form. Okay, so you have like a whole number at the front here, and then a proper fraction attached to this. So it's come in this form. You have a whole, and then the remaining of this number, which is 3/7, and is represented by a proper fraction. So when you have a mixed number, it means that you cannot have an improper fraction attached to that mixed number, because the purpose of mixed number is to present the fraction in terms of its proper fraction with a whole. Okay, so you can have a negative mixed number as well, because we do have to go down to the negative part of the number lines as we did in previous lesson, and among them you can have the negative value as well. And those negative value can be presented as a fraction, and that fraction can be a negative also. Okay, so how do we convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, and how do we do the reverse process of that? Okay, so all the steps are listed here for everyone. Okay, so what you do is if you want to convert 5/37 to mixed number, so what you do is you are going to take the denominator, you multiply the whole number here, and then you add that with 3. So right here what I have is 7 times 5 plus 3. You keep the denominator the same, and then you perform the order operation here. You got 38/7. Okay, so this is how we convert our mixed number into an improper fractions without using any key pressing a simple button on the calculator to get this value, which I will show you everyone how to work with that in a minute. All right. So how about improper fraction? Convert to mixed number. Then you have to remember the concept of a simple division, and we have to perform that using a hand, that we cannot use calculator in this case. We have to remember there's quotient, whole number, a remainder, and then the numerators, remainder becomes the numerators in this case, quotient will become a whole number, and then it's quite a bit of the tedious process, which I believe that no one is going to go back and try to use this basic step. So therefore, what I do is I will skip this here, but I actually show everyone like a little trick how to get to convert and work with your calculators. Okay, so now long division, right? So long division apply to this if you need to do it by hand. However, I don't recommend that, and I will switch right into the calculator in this case. All right, okay. So with a calculator, how are we going to convert certain values to our mixed number, and from mixed number back to our improper? Now, so 27 over 17. All right, okay. I want to convert that into a mixed number, and we know that it will become 1 as a whole, 10 as the numerator, 17 as the denominator. So it's very simple by just pressing a few keys on this calculator right here. All right, okay. So I will go to my screen with a calculator, and then if you can have your calculator right beside you right now, and you can try along with me so that we can get the answer that we need. Okay, so let's work with this. Okay, so let's get started. Excuse me. Okay, so this calculator, Casio FX991MS, I would like everyone to pay attention to this key right here. Okay, so this key right there. All right, so it's at a A, a B, and a C, and if you press Shift, you can see that it's D over C, like representing an improper fraction, and this key here representing as a mixed number. Okay, so what we wanted to achieve is that we want to convert between 27 over 10 to have 17, as a denominator and 10 as a numerators, right? So we want to convert between these two to make sure that we know how to work with our calculators.